Okay, so I want to make one thing clear. I am not here to slander Frowdy or its team. However, this could have been handled with much sooner, and I want to bring it up in YouTube because it's not really talked about, and it's only really been talked about on Twitter. The situation has been handled, and a response was made on September 14th. However, this took 2 years to fucking handle, and it really is genuinely disgusting how Frowdy has let both Brimstone and Ambiguous go on without any sort of repercussions up until this point. So, without the way, let's get into this. Frowdy is basically a furry con for people that can't go to furry cons. They have panels, they have different events, and they even have different voice actors and voice actresses. We almost had Crystal's voice actress in there, though she had schedule conflicts.
This guy is an absolute wanker.
And basically, it's a big deal. It's one of the biggest events that happens in VR chat. And basically, they do different charities like the Center of Orlando, Save a Fox. So, you know, they do a lot of cool shit. However, with that being said, since they are a big group, they should know better. And again, this has gone for far too long. And I really want to talk about Brimstone. Brimstone is essentially one of the directors in Frowdy, and their allegations go back to 2016, where they have not only role-played with a minor, but also drew SFW art, Brony SFW art with the minor's OC. Yeah, this is fun. So basically, we're going to go over the thread, the response, and my opinion at the end of it. So without further delay, let's get the fuck into it. So this is Lumi VRC's thread made this year, August 31st. And it basically goes over the Brimstone situation and even mentions another pedophile within their director's board. Here we have the brony porn we mentioned earlier with the minor. And he even asked some weird-ass questions as well as try to roleplay with them. So, yeah, you know, this is totally appropriate for a big event, Frowdy, you know. Just good choice of people. We have more leaked documents suggesting that this situation was also brought up in March, and he was only fired in late August. And in part 3 of 3, basically, Frowdy mentions that unless it's happening in their servers, they're not going to give a shit, and that this could have been done much sooner, but chose not to do anything at the time. Basically, all the information you need is right here, but this goes over pretty much everything else. That there has been another predator in the director's board, and both these allegations have been brought up for 2 years. No one has done anything. Brimstone basically stays in the server with his roles at the time of making this thread, and a lot of people have reached out. Another thing I want to quickly mention, and I'll even show this one, is basically Dalton himself very much lied and said that they did not have a dangerous policy, that unless it happens in Frowdy, they won't do anything about it. However, leaks in here pretty much show otherwise.
Hang on. Hey, I've got the same of both toy, and it turns out I wanted Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash.
We have the official response by Frowdy. It basically goes over both terminations, HR failures, where they fell short, and what they're doing to improve. I'm not going to go and read all of this because I wrote it myself. It takes like 12 minutes. But again, link will be in the description for anyone that is curious on reading it, or you could slow down the video and read it from here if you're able to. But here we have everything you need to know and how it's been handled. So in my opinion, this could have been handled much sooner. I appreciate Ferality taking some sort of accountability, though this could have been easily a too little too late scenario. I do hope they could rebuild the trust within the furry fandom, as I would still want to go myself. However, it didn't need to take 2 fucking years to do anything. I'm glad, again, they took accountability and admitted it was an HR problem. However, you guys are too big of a community, you guys know better, and it is still a bit disgusting how you guys swept it under a rug. You guys have a lot of work to do to rebuild everyone's trust. And honestly, like I said, I don't want to besmirch you guys. I feel like a lot of Ferality staff do have good intentions. However, there just wasn't enough people that gave a shit about the situation. Dalton, if you're seeing this, I'm not here to ridicule you or to shame you in any sort of way, but you could have obviously done better. Please do better. Also, release the furry Epstein list to my nick.
Absolute wanker.